It's time to finish this.
It's so beautiful.
In the last video, I set up some of the shelving as it was intended, and then modified my first gable to convert it into a hybrid floor-supported wall-hanging shelf? Or sky shelf? However, during modification I learned my assumption that this post was rigid was wrong.
Whoa.
This was quite the problem because the original plan was to simply allow the post to bear the load vertically and use these brackets to hold the shelves against the wall so they wouldn't fall over. Since it was now clear the post needed support to remain rigid, I had to come up with a new plan. Ultimately, I decided to buy 5 4-inch decking boards because they were the right thickness that I needed, and ran over to my neighbor's wood shop to mill them down to this profile. For all but one spot, the posts lined up with these low ridges exactly, so I could just make several of the same thing and ultimately use some of the offcuts for the one post that goes right against the larger ridge on the wall. Once I have this made, I can use them in conjunction with the blocks I made in the last video up above with the brackets I'll make here shortly and tie these modified gables into the wall. The goal is for the brackets and the backing blocks to only hold the post against the wall and prevent the post from bending or falling forward. It might seem like the obvious choice is to drill these posts and put hardware right into the wall through them, but I want to permit as much of the post to bear the load down to the ground as possible, so the brackets will allow that load to pass by them as the shelving is loaded. Finally, any load towards the front of the shelves passes that down through the wire weld sides, which only keeps its shape due to being tied into the now modified post that transfers its load to the back. I didn't do any sort of analysis of how strong this is, and if I wanted to maintain the 200-pound rated load of these shelves, which I currently intend to have 2 of up here, I figured adding a tension cable to redirect some of that load would be smart, so I'll add that as well later in the video. Well, that's the plan in a nutshell anyways, so let's get to it.
Okay, so now I need to cut 60 4-inch brackets out of this material that I got, and I'm going to use my mini bandsaw to do it. I think that'll be the easiest to do it and the least crazy in terms of sparks and stuff. So I bought this thing and I've barely used it, but it's so nice when I do. I think it'll be perfect for this. Well, that went pretty well. Just took a couple of minutes. Now to put 2 holes in each of them. So I've set up the drill press with a little really ghetto jig here, but it should work. I might be able to do more at once, but I'm going to try doing 3 at a time, and then you can just flip it and do the other side, and I should be able to just power through drilling through all of these. I have 60 brackets to drill, so it's a pain in the butt. And then I've got JW doing the grinding of these ends here just to get that nice. So here we go. Easy. Now to do this 19 more times. A little manual laborer laboring away for me. You'll get your 50 cents an hour today, buddy. I just finished. Oh, that was a lot of freaking work. But now have 60 brackets. They should work pretty good. I've got all my plates. I thought these screws that I had, for some reason was thinking that they were structural screws, but they're just really nice deck screws. So I've made all these nice plates that are meant to go with it, but technically these are not meant for structural, which up there it's kind of performing a structural function. It's keeping it from a tension force coming out if it was trying to pull out of the wall. So what I don't actually know is if this will do what I need it to do. So I'm going to do a torture test right now of just seeing how much one screw can hold and that one screw being how much it can hold of my weight. I weigh about 160 pounds. And I've rigged up this little thing. Basically, I've got one screw through one bracket, through a piece of wood. It would really be through an inch of wood, but this is 1.5. I'm not going to worry about that. If it pulls through that, that's another story. I'm worried about the head at the moment. I'm going to set this up above me, and I'm just going to hang on it and see if the head breaks off. I think it's going to hold, and I'm going to be doing that ×4 in multiple places, so I'm going to do a torture test right now to see if structurally this will do the job that I want it to do. Yes, this whole time I've had a car lift hiding behind my camera. So I'm not going to use my pull-up bar, my very expensive pull-up bar. I'm going to just use this and see what happens. It's either going to hold me or I'm going to fall here. So I'm 160 pounds on one, and I'm being held up. I'll kind of give it a little bit of extra G's and kind of hop up and down a little bit. Yeah, this will be more than strong enough. So, these deck screws, if you think of it as decking, it's really just holding wood down together, and it's not really doing that much. It's just kind of holding the materials together, and typically it's wood into wood. So this type of screw is really designed for that, but I don't know, for some reason I thought they were structural, so that's what I'm using. I'm going to stick to that plan and just make this work. That was fine, no problems there. In my case, with this holding it, well, I guess it'd be in this direction, there's really not any shear force on these screws because it is being held down to the floor. So most of the load is just going directly to the floor, and that's what all the bracing is to make sure that happens. Really up top is the only place we really need it, and you're worried about your load here wanting to come down, and it'll be trying to pull the support out. And that's what I just tested, pulling the other way, nothing happened. So now I'm going to do a bunch more cosmetic stuff, and hopefully, finally, I can start putting these modified hanging sky shelves up there. So I've been soaking my parts in parts cleaner to get all the oil from making them off, and now I need to go ahead and paint them. So it should go pretty easy. Now, I probably could just paint them as they are after doing the parts cleaner, but it specifically mentions using something like mineral spirits to get everything off, and I don't actually know if the parts cleaner leaves any kind of residue. I mean, it shouldn't, but I don't know. And I have the mineral spirits, so I'm just going to do what I always do, and prep it with mineral spirits. Oh my God. One is missing. Oh, I know where it is, I think. I hope. I only have 59. Okay, I'm gonna do my best not to go insane, but I lost one. I have carpal tunnel, and I really hate shaking cans because it's just one of those things that adds to the abuse of and making carpal tunnel worse. I've actually gotten the surgery on both of my hands, and they make these cool little auto shaker things, and I should really buy one, but I haven't. So until then, I'll just keep hurting my wrists. Oh, this stuff is freaking terrible. Okay, I'm trying to try out this new Rust-Oleum like 5-in-1 can thing. It freaking leaks. The can like freaking leaks out paint from behind the sprayer head. I'm not going to be looking at this side, so I'm just going to keep working. These are looking beautiful. Okay, I think I'm fully ready now with all of my different materials to put these shelves up. But all this crap is still in the way and my shop is full, so I'm gonna just move it out, find space, let's go. That's better. Okay, here we go, finally. Okay, modified. This should all fit in nice. Okay, let's see here. Since I'm working alone, I got to get creative for how to keep this up while I'm working around it. And my little method the other day seemed to work pretty good, to leave it there for a day or two. Little clamp there. All right, seems to be working. So this is the goal here. Bracket go over. It compresses just slightly over it to pull it in. Have it hard against, and now it's all tied into the wall. So got to do that a bunch more. Looks like the first one will be hard. We'll see here in a second if the rest of them will be as tricky, because I want to pre-drill, because these screws aren't able to, not easily drill through the sheet metal. So I'm kind of pre-drilling them. Now to do up to 60 more. So far, that's a good sign. This is looking really good. It's tempting not even to add the cross bracing or the tension cable, because I'm starting to think that just that down there is going to be strong enough, but I will add one. Before I was going to tie it right into the wire,
I think I'm gonna put the cable actually behind here, and that'll be the connection up here, and then use a cable crimping setup to do that. I'm gonna try to get away with just one. I know originally I was gonna do two, but I think with how much this can handle on its own, won't be a problem.
The next thing I need to do is set up my little turnbuckle system. I'm gonna use just one for now, and I'll add a second if I feel that it's not supportive enough. I think it'll be just fine. So my plan is to use this on the third hole down. I'm gonna simply put it through, and this will be one of my loops. I don't know if it was always this way, but the hardware to make these is like stupid expensive, so this will saves me a couple of bucks on each one. And to do it, you need one of these crimping tools to use with these crimping sleeves. And I bought these in bulk because to buy them for regular wire or for this cable, it's like $1.50 or $2 for each one of these, and I bought this kit that's meant for wire for a lot less. I don't know, there's 25 pieces. I think this was like $6 or something. As far as I can tell, this is more complicated than the other one because the other ones are smooth on the inside and these are gridded. So I think that's a cash grab, and being gridded should be even have more holding than those other aluminum ones, and dimensionally they all seem to be identical otherwise. So I'm using this. What's weird about them is because wire is in gauge and then the cable is in fractions of an inch, there's actually a different tool that you need to use if you're doing it correctly because the size is just slightly different. But these say they're for 10 to 11 gauge wire, and this is a 1/8 cable, and it's the same, it's in that range, so I'm going to use this tool. Third one down. Okay, and at first glance this might seem kind of a dumb way to have it, but what will end up happening, I'm not sure how strong the wires are individually to be pulling on. At least at the top here, it'll be pulling on the back, and it'll actually sit on top of one of my mounting blocks. So all the tension should go through the back of this thing on this one. So that at least at the top it'll be quite secure, and I'll be confident of that. So I've never actually used this tool before. It's very straightforward for how you do it, but let's see how hard it is to do. What are these? And it's really weird. It's 10-11 gauge wire, but it's a sleeve 3/4. Okay. Yep, that'll be good. I can't tension it too much right now because it'll just crumple this all together. It's not meant to pull it together, just give it support when it theoretically tries to go down. So I just got to do that a couple more times, and unfortunately one of them I'll have to do up there, but that was pretty easy, and I got some measurements, so this should go pretty quick now. Oh, you piece of crap. Ah! You f***! Should have done it on the ground, I forgot.
Oh, I hate you. I hate you. Whew. Oh, that was brutal. Not meant to be used in the air. And another little test here. Oh yeah. Not even thinking about it.
So I've got that one on there. I'm just gonna power through the rest of them. And now I think this is a good time for a time lapse.
It's so beautiful.
So, I've got it all done. I still have more to do here in general. I'm going to need to build a new workbench. This is not going to be acceptable for the long term. Basically, what I want to do here is get rid of this, and I want to build an actual 12-foot table. So it'll be 3 bays, and it'll go to over here. Now that's going to create 2 problems for me. One, no more room for my tools here, but I think I have a solution for that. Over here, this bench here is just a placeholder for the time being, and I'm going to build in a big tool chest here. The goal will be hyper organization. It's going to have a room for a lot of tools, but I'm also going to make sure I have only the tools I need and not a lot of extras in here that are filling up my other toolboxes. With that cleared, there'll be all this room for this big bench. I might even do some tool storage under it. I haven't decided how I'm going to go about that yet. Yeah, I don't even have stuff to put up there yet. I'm sure as I go through my shop and continue to organize it, I'll go, oh, I'm never going to touch this, or not for a long time, and I will put it up there. Of course, also, I don't plan to be storing anything like bedding and cool and crisp sheets, etc. on these shelves, so I'm going to change those out, but I think it's humorous for right now to show off that these are converted from Bed Bath & Beyond shelving. I will, however, start with a very important sign for in here. Man, I really gotta pee.